Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is Jason Bitbender Brink, and we are here for episode 8 of Ahead of the Game. And I'm looking forward to talking to everyone today. There's been a lot of very, very spicy questions. Attendee number 115. So yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys. Those of you who are new to the stream, make sure that you do the like, subscribe, and follow thing. And if you've retweeted the tweet on Twitter that is me talking about this stream, I will be doing a drawing towards the end of this for a badass chicken. Those of you who have been following also know that I spent half of last night dying because I had to eat a bunch of moldy chicken. It was terrible. I don't ever want to do that again. If that's the next challenge, I lose. I am going to be watching Gala Gold here on one screen. I am going to be watching the YouTube video. Actually, I don't have that up yet, so give me just 1 second while I bring that up so I can pull questions from that. And I've also got a bunch of other questions to go ahead and go through from the from that. So if you would like to submit a question, that's a good place to do so. And I will be going through a bunch of those, and I will be addressing a bunch of attendee 115's questions, which I'm sure will be terribly disappointing for them. So, yeah. That's okay. Got it, man. Thanks, Paul. It was Paul in my ear, and I have not learned not to talk back when somebody talks to me, so I apologize for that. Okay, guys, let's hit a few of the updates. Oh, and by the way, if you would like to join our Discord, you can do so at galagames.chat. And we're in the Gala Gold channel. That's probably the easiest place to get this through. Got some Sporlax. Maybe providing accurate content isn't their main priority. Making money and getting views is. Awesome. So I am happy to answer some of these questions, but first let's go ahead and hit some of the updates that we have. Now, because of all of the stuff that we're talking about this week, in terms of the node vote, in terms of rep, in terms of a bunch of things, we're going to be a lot lighter on the game updates, and we're going to spend a lot more time answering questions because I feel that there are a lot of questions that people have. But first, we have a cool Walking Dead video, so let's run that first. Now, I'm super excited for the Walking Dead Empires. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you guys will be very, very happy to know that there will be a new playtest coming for that during Comic-Con in San Diego, which will be at the end of next week. And so pay special attention. And by the way, if you're in Gala Gold and you're interested in coming to Comic-Con in San Diego, not to the event itself, but we have our own separate event outside. It's going to be at Mission Brewery. It's going to be pretty cool. And if you're interested, make sure that you ping us next time we are hanging out in the Gala Gold chat, and we'll see what we can do about getting you guys on the list. I'm going back and forth between contest or first come, first serve for Gala Gold. So let me know what you guys think about that as well. And the event in Comic-Con is going to be pretty cool, so you're going to want to check that out. We're going to have new builds of a few different games that you guys are going to be able to play at the event, as well as a bunch of cool other activations and cosplay stuff, and you know, the normal Comic-Con things. Let's see. Playtest next week. What? Yes, absolutely. And then in terms of other updates for games this week, I've been hitting you guys and pushing those so hard. I didn't want to push the teams too hard. Now, I have 3 teams. Again, it's the same 3 teams that have promised me that there would be an update this week, are now promising me that there's going to be an update next week. So there better be an update next week, guys. You're killing me here. And is it going to be an open bar? I don't know if it's going to be an open bar, but here. If it's not, I will buy beers for the first 25 people that are Gala Gold members through the door. How about that? When hoodies? Hoodies in Gala Gold after this stream. After this stream, you will get hoodies in Gala Gold, and then there will also be a hoodie link that is sent out to the rest of the community. So yeah. And then quick update. This is just a general industry update. It's not really a Gala update. NFTs are now allowed on Google Play. This is something that I'm super excited about, and it validates the model that we've been building for with a lot of the different bits and pieces that you've seen us pushing forward in terms of Dragon Strike and Meow Match and a bunch of other mobile titles. So definitely, I'm very happy to hear that. And also congratulations to XRP for being deemed not a security. This is something that I believe makes the entire industry very happy. So good job, guys. Now, I'm going to free hoodies with KFC. No, NFT Chuck, no more KFC. That was terrible, man. Someone go take a screenshot of that video that I recorded yesterday, and let's talk about that, because that was awful. That was terrible. Bad. Okay. Let's go ahead and, you know what? I want to get into the questions, but let's run the interview first. Interview with Stache, which gets super spicy, and then I will just spend the rest of the time absolutely hammering on AMA questions that you guys have, including yours, 115. I know you really felt sad that I wasn't going to answer any of them, but you're going to be disappointed. It's very sad. So let's talk to Stache, and we'll go from there. Welcome, Stache. It's I have a button. Don't make me use my button. I'll use my button.
Ah! All right.
How you doing, man?
I need that zoom button.
You do. You do need the zoom button. It's great. It's super effective, because then you could be like, ask me a question. Ask me a question that you know I can't answer.
How much money do you make?
Well, that wouldn't even be a good answer. It's just like it's just like for the amount of pain that I suffer, not enough. How about that? Ask me if I can tell you a predicted price for Gala.
Oh yeah. Gala, Wen Moon. When do we get all-time high?
I can't tell you. See, super useful.
Great, I love it. I
super
need one
useful.
Just the mustache. Right? I want to like just shadow box just the mustache.
You should. You definitely should. Well, thanks for joining us today, Stache. You and we have pretty good banter every single time. Kick things around in Discord. That's a ton of fun. You've had me in the box to torture multiple times. You have failed because you have not brought any blowtorches, not even one. And so now I have you in the box and confetti. That's right. Celebrating. Exactly. I am celebrating your misery, Stache. So you've seen this. You've been watching ahead of the game, I assume. I hope. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Okay. A little bit.
Gotta stay ahead of the Gala Games.
Gotta stay ahead. Now, you know how this goes. I'm going to ask you a few questions. I'm going to ask you, for starters, though, tell everyone about yourself, because if there are people out here who are watching ahead of the game who are not also watching CryptoStache, they need to fix that. So you need to make sure that you go check him out and follow. But so tell everyone who you are, what you're all about, where they can find you.
Yeah, most people just call me Stache. You know, at CryptoStache, pretty much everywhere you want to be. I am the original Web3 gaming content creator. I started talking about Web3 games in 2017 and really haven't stopped. And so I love making content. I love playing games. I love being able to connect with the community and let people learn from my experiences, from the inside intel that I get. I try and run all the agents over at the Gaming Intelligence Agency, the GIA, but you know, sometimes it is quite the challenge. But we have a great time all together gaming as a community. And yeah, and that's kind of long and short of me. You know, I try and make some of the best content on YouTube, the best videos about what is going on right now in the Web3 gaming space across all different games and genres. I know some people are just like, I just play this game. I just do this. I cover it all. If you want to know about everything and you want all the hottest takes and the latest opinions,
you do have the takes and the opinions. You definitely have takes and opinions. He's got you. Okay, so you've seen this. You know what I'm going to ask next. What is something that at Gala we need to do better at? How can we get better at something?
Get rid of Townstar.
Oh, hot take. Get rid of Wow. Hot damn.
Like
okay.
You asked me,
okay.
Man. I mean, it's, you know, focus the attention on something else. You know?
Okay. Focus. Interesting.
Just beat the horse down until it's dead.
Interesting.
And let it lie there and just bleed out.
Okay. Now, so here's a now I'm not a huge fan of the game myself. I've never been a huge fan of the game myself.
Yeah.
But that is a remarkably hot take.
Whew. I mean, wait. I could come up with more. Do you need more?
No. Let's dig in on that one for a little bit. So
I source everything from the Gala Gold chat, though, just so you know.
I know you do. I know. I've seen you in there. I know everybody else in there. So that's an interesting hot take, though. So the question, though, is that if we were to do that, what does that mean for the rest of the community and for the players of Townstar?
That means they get to cry as much as they want. And actually have a valid reason, probably, to do it now.
As much, it's instead of the normal crying that they do.
There's a lot of valid reasons. To be really honest, no. I mean, what would happen? I don't know. You know, what happens to a lot of games that just don't work out?
Okay.
You know, people who say, "Hey, I bought this game. It was $20 on Steam, and I want to play it. It's been three years. Oh wait, no, I realized. Oh man, that's gone. It's gone. I got nothing. And so, like, what do you?
Okay.
So I mean but that's a question that I think that we have trouble answering in Web3,
right? Because there's the things stick around, yeah.
Right. Well, what you talk about, like, well, people think NFTs are forever, right? They think digital assets are forever,
right?
And the hard truth is they're really not. And I think that that's okay. Just like other things are not necessarily around forever. That doesn't mean that absolves you from trying to, you know, do the best you can with keeping things going or keeping things alive, but you get to a certain point, like, hey, you know, we got to cut our losses here. Now, the cool thing about this, and
there are people here, by the way, who are going to watch this interview with interest.
Yeah. So, well, the cool thing about this is that, like,
so just by the way, guys, if Townstar ever gets shut down, please send your complaints to @CryptoStache.
It was me. So the cool thing about using NFTs, though, in this sense, is that they have the ability, or you know, if done right, to be interoperable, right? So you talk about, okay, hey, as a game publisher here, as you know, Gala Games, we're getting rid of Townstar. Hypothetical, we get rid of Townstar, and we say, well, what about all the assets and the things that I've already purchased? I'm out of money. I'm out. The nodes, all these things. Well, the cool thing about this is that there are ways to be able to kind of port that data and those things over as NFTs to be usable or unlock things in other future games, right? To say, hey, if I still have this cool Townstar, like, rare asset, we can.
What just happened? Hey guys, apparently I'm back. Not sure why. I wasn't supposed to be back just yet. I've dematerialized Stache. So let's see if probably had a little bit of a technical error there. I was just in the middle of reading more wonderful things from 115. So we're going to deal with a lot of that, and we're also going to do some bonus pool stuff. I'm just looking at myself come up on YouTube again. That's awesome. Stache is creating Inception, so hopefully we'll get that back in a second. But while we do that, let's. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna hit some AMA questions. While we wait for that to come up, Paul, let me know when we're good. When will Gala from Treasure Chest convert to GalaChain? Guys, we can call it GalaChain now. We don't have to call it Geary. So basically, and hopefully this is going to be within the next pretty short period of time. One of the big things is switching over from basically it's part of the bridging process, right? So once we have the bridging set up to move from GalaChain to Ethereum, and there are like 4 other questions in the AMA thing. By the way, guys, if you upvote the questions that are the same, they'll get up to the top faster rather than asking it 4 times. It shows up way down at the bottom. So basically, though, that should be coming pretty soon. The bridging from GalaChain back out to Ethereum for the Gala token is one of the next things that they're working on, and it is part of really it's part of a lot of different things, from making it so that you guys don't have to run around on Ethereum with Gala if you don't want to making it so that there can be a lot less friction in terms of a lot of what we're doing with nodes and all of these things. So watch for that. I think it's going to be a pretty cool thing. Let's see, hitting the next one. Whoa, that okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to reformat that one because someone went a little nuts with the question. Actually, I'm gonna do that on the fly right now so that you guys can actually see it, because it's kind of a hilarious question, and they had a lot of fun with it. So hold on one second. Let me see if I can do this. Select font. Let's make it what? 28. Does that fit? Does that fit? Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. Oh no, I just made another one too small. Okay, select font. I'm going to go with 20. We'll call it 20. Okay, that's clearly, I went overboard there. Sorry for that. We should be back now. I hear. Wait until we're actually back. Now we're back. Now we seem to be frozen again. Okay, there we go. We're good. Technical difficulties, everyone. I'm sorry about that. Townstar Mafia brought the video down. That's entirely possible. It's entirely possible. Are you okay, Paul? Are you safe? Are you in a safe place? The Townstar Mafia may be coming for you. Okay, so digging in on this question. I want to start from the beginning because I think I got cut out somewhere in the middle of this. But the question essentially boils down to why do PokerGO and Grit have the same model? When you say it won't work for Grit, how do you know it'll work for PokerGO? While there are some similarities to the model, the type of game is radically different, and the behavior patterns of the types of people who play also radically different. People who are playing Grit from a Web3 gaming perspective have one type of expectation. People who are playing mobile poker, okay, and again, the guy running this ran Zynga Poker for a long time, is a entirely different thing. I know that when I play poker, okay, personally, there are very, very different things that I will do in terms of my expenditures. I will rebuy chips. I'll do all sorts of things there that changes how the game functions. So that's a very, very critical thing. Plus, again, as I've said many, many, many times, This is a test. Okay, we do tests after test after test to see how it works. And if something doesn't work, then we'll tweak it, we'll pivot it, and we'll find a way to find something that works a little bit better. That doesn't mean we're always going to be right. That doesn't mean we're always going to get it right the first time. In fact, many, many times, as I'm sure there are people who will point out, we don't. But we are committed to continuing to work on it and tweak it and test a model and find one that works. You know, this is one of those interesting catch-22s, because we say that there's a secondary token and people are like, oh no, secondary tokens. And then we say that there's not a secondary token and people are like, oh no, there's not a secondary token. Pick one, guys, pick one. Okay, Paul, can we run the rest of the video now? I don't want to leave Stache hanging there. Is that a thing that we can do, Paul? Okay, moving on with another question then. I think the Townstar Mafia got to Paul. We would like to see Benefactor live on the show, possibly on a monthly basis. Can you please forward this request to him? I absolutely did that. That is exactly what happened. He has been, it has been forwarded to him, so we'll see how that comes out. He's not always a jump on camera and talk to people for a whole bunch of time guy, but yeah, that's it. Let me move on. Okay, this is another one. I need to keep the questions short, guys. Otherwise, I have to restructure the entire question queue. Over the last 90 days, Gala token has experienced a steady decline in price. Has Gala contributed to this decline themselves? Is it primarily due to market factors, or is it a combination of both? Okay, hold on. I have to go back. I have to get to my other button thing. We don't talk about token price, guys. It's just not a thing that we can do. Okay, I understand that it's a thing that a lot of people focus on, but our focus is on making amazing games. That is what we want to do. And building an ecosystem out that everything focuses on. Now, we definitely want to have the token be a critical component of that, because that's how you build a robust ecosystem. But in terms of the price itself, that is of less concern than the liquidity and the availability of that for us. So I just wanted to address that, because I know that people are going to see questions on token price and be like, oh, he's never going to talk about that. But that's a thing that we will talk about in this way, to say that that's not our main focus. I want to be very, very, very clear on that. Okay, back into some more questions. Paul, are you around? Did you disappear? Like, I think the town start. Okay, let me know. Paul is alive. I have heard him now. He is alive, so we will get the video going when he's ready. Until then, I'm just grinding through questions. How much Gala would be burned when onboarding a new project like Rep? Is it tens, hundreds, or millions of Gala tokens? Is it one significant burn or a gradual process of burns? There's a few different things, actually. Few different things that are relevant to this. One is the long-term plan will be that there is an asset channel, and as asset channels are created, there's a rather significant burn that will be required for that. In the case of Rep, it is likely that that is a burn that we are subsidizing, because this is one of the first external projects. So we're getting them on board and we're walking them through our side of things. They're building out their side of things. And I think that will be not a major consideration at this point. However, the long term, and there's a few other questions that deal with this, is that will the Gala token be used by this part of the ecosystem that's being stood up? Yes, it will. It will also probably at some point in time have its own token, okay? But that's not necessarily to say that it won't use Gala. Gala will also form a pretty strong foundation in terms of, you know, gas for transactions and whatnot, which again, I've been over this a couple times, but there will be like a little bit of a sliding scale with exactly how that functions. So if you're just doing normal day-to-day things, you're making a post, there isn't going to be a gas fee for that. If you're trying to grief or spam, then yeah, there's definitely going to be gas fees for that. And so it's going to be a function of that, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's a little bit of both. One significant burn and a gradual process of burns through actual usage. Okay. Oh, okay. I actually just answered this question. Paul says we can go to the video, so I'm going to change this question out, and we'll run the rest of the video, and we'll come back and do a bunch more questions after that's done. Peace out, guys. See you in a few. If Townstar ever gets shut down, please send your complaints to @CryptoStache.
It was me. So the cool thing about using NFTs, though, in this sense, is that they have the ability, or if done right, to be interoperable, right? So you talk about, okay, hey, as a game publisher here, as Gala Games, we're getting rid of Townstar. Hypothetical, we get rid of Townstar, and we say, well, what about all that I've already purchased? I'm out of money. I'm out. The nodes, all these things. Well, the cool thing about this is that there are ways to be able to kind of port that data and those things over as NFTs to be usable or unlock things in other future games, right? To say, hey, if I still have this cool Townstar like rare asset, we can give utility to that still. So if you hold it in your wallet, you may get something cool in this next game, and then something cool in this next game, and the next game, and the next game. And so I think that within an ecosystem, there's a lot of wiggle room or viability for doing things like that. Could you do it with other games? Sure, you could. It'd be a lot harder, I think, because there is it's just a way that you manage the data. Everyone's like, oh, well, NFTs are just the same as CSGO skins. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. They all have utility. But the fact of the matter is that, that's a massive database you're talking about, and it's a very a non-transparent database too. And being transparent about things, I think, are huge. And so I could see that happening and that going that route.
Now, the funny thing about this conversation is that there are going to be people who are like, Jason told you to suggest that. And so if that ever does happen, that would be like, oh, that was orchestrated from the beginning. But the reality is that this was just a random ass conversation, and that is a remarkably hot take.
No, I mean, well, hey, look, it's not a hot take for me. I've said this a lot of times. I don't know where you've been at, but I've never liked Townstar, and honestly, I would consider I love you guys, but I think Townstar was the biggest mistake ever. Mirandus might be number 2. We'll see. There might be some redemption for Mirandus here, but when I say biggest mistake, listen, when I say biggest mistake, it's only because I feel like Gala Games has really found their stride being a game publisher and not a game developer.
Interesting.
That's how I feel. And from everything I've seen, from everything you guys have done, all the things you guys have pushed, I really feel like you've really hit your stride in being a publisher of games and producer of entertainment versus being a studio that like directly makes.
What do you feel about Last Expedition?
I think Last Expedition is great.
Okay.
Is that but I mean, do you consider that in-house?
Yeah, that's 100% in-house.
I mean, but is it though? Like the guy, like
it is 100%. Trust me, I know it's 100% in-house.
All right, well then I'll give you credit on that one because that's pretty good so far.
Yeah, no, it's no,
hold on.
You should see the new build
now, but that's because the guys that were working on it before were independent and now they're in-house.
Okay, sure. I mean, but that's true with Townstar too.
I mean,
it is.
Yeah, but probably just but I feel like early mistake with a lot of the things that went down with Townstar.
Sure.
Many lessons learned.
So let me ask you a question then. What if we were to replace Townstar in its current incarnation with a new game that is an entirely new game, but that is Townstar in flavor? How would you feel about that?
Like farm builder style?
Something like that. Again, hypothetical.
I mean, okay, look. There's just nothing new in that genre. Like how do you push that genre further? You know what I'm saying?
People like
how do you push Farmville further than Farmville? Like it's like there's a lot of competition out there. I just never saw like a long-term potential for that type of game. Last Expedition is pushing the envelope. It's doing something a little bit different than what you see in other extraction shooters, right?
Yeah, that is true.
And I think that there's some elements there that actually make it a lot of fun. Now, clearly, it comes down a lot to preference. There's a lot of people out there that love these casual games.
I am not one of them.
Neither
am I. So
style, like the little like clicker, like farmy, like say I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I want to spend my time doing something a little bit more in depth, something a little bit more story, something with a little bit more interaction or multiplayer feel. Could there be a pivot for Townstar that could make it popular? Sure. But once again, mobile's hard, man, because I feel like it's just a lot of clones. It's not just you guys; it's just mobile in general.
Yeah.
Is it just me? I feel like there's a lot of clones in mobile. Just like if you talk about,
I mean, it is because it's a sort of especially in a free to play place. It's just copy game, throw advertising at it. Look at your LTV and see if it works. If your return on it is higher than your spend on it, then yay, you win. So there are a lot of copycats in there. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next question before you decide to shred something else, what is something that it's okay.
You asked. I mean, hey,
I appreciate the candor. Okay, I appreciate the candor. What is something that you feel we have done well? It could also be nothing. It's fine. You can say that if you want.
No. Okay, so then on the flip side,
sure.
What you guys have done well is I really do think that you've done well managing multiple entertainment aspects that Gala has really, because a lot of people this is one of the main complaints I see all the time on social media and on Gala Gold is you're doing too much. It's too much, guys. They're doing too much. They got too much. Too much on their plate. There's too many things. But I honestly think that you guys have handled them pretty well. The music side of things has developed, fairly well. We're seeing a lot of independent artists coming out of that, plus a couple of big names too. The film side of stuff, I'm not as involved with, but I think that's similar to games. It's something that takes a long time to kind of get going. Even with games, like you can kind of bootstrap a little bit, like you guys have done, where you're purchasing you're bringing in studios. And that already have games that are very close to being finished, like we saw with Superior and Spider Tanks and some of these other ones where, it wasn't like, hey, we're starting from an idea on a whiteboard, So I think that you guys have done a good job of managing all those aspects. At a time, there was a time for sure when I didn't feel like Gala did a great job with communicating with the community. I think you guys have turned that around significantly and are doing a great job with
doing our best.
You are out there as a beast. Really just, beating down the warpath out there and knocking them around with that giant hammer wherever you keep that thing. I don't know. But, out here really disseminating the information and getting out there and being very communicative with the community. So I definitely think that's a strong suit. And that's something that is vitally important, especially right now during a bear market when people's sentiment is down. Anytime I do a Gala video, which I do many, maybe not as many as Classy over here is like he's swinging on the thing, but I do a lot, and every time I get a couple of comments like, but the price hasn't done anything. The price is horrible, and it's only two. And I'm like, have you looked at any of the rest of the tokens out there? Like, pretty much everything is going to be down 90 to 80% until we really see a bull market return. That's just how this works.
Just the way that the market is.
And bull market cycles, and that's the case. But I think you guys have done a good job, fielding a lot of this stuff and dealing with a lot of these things, and making sure the communication is out there. And in particular, during a little, I wouldn't say a rough patch, but just a hard situation to deal with an upgrade, right? Where you guys had to upgrade the token contract, which is a big thing and hard thing to do. And do well and not piss everybody off.
I think we were able to navigate that fairly well. I mean, there's not perfect, but I think it's about as perfect as you can expect.
Yeah.
So
look, I'll go on one more point. You guys have some of the best, and so when it comes down to games that are playable that have Web3 components, I mean, you guys have done some of the best jobs on getting those integrations going, right? And doing it now. Like, so when we talk about, Spider Tanks has been kicking ass. Obviously, there's balances that keep coming. But that's every game. I mean, that's any MOBA.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it has Web3 or not.
Definitely.
I mean, any MOBA is always going to be a balancing issue. And then great games like Superior, which I think doesn't get enough love, man. I was so disappointed to see Superior not make Game of the Year last year. when it was going up against Big Time, and I was like, Big Time is cool, man, but dude, I think Superior just has
Superior.
something. And I that was my vote. That was my vote for Game of the Year, was Superior over Big Time. So,
well, I'm a big fan of Superior. Maybe I'll stream Superior a little bit. I need to get it. I've been so busy with everything coming to the ecosystem, you know, beyond games, film, and music. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff that's currently in flight. It is keeping me incredibly busy, and I have not had the opportunity to dig into stuff.
I meant to congratulate you. I heard you guys launch your brand new social app that is powered by Gala. Not you guys, but I heard someone, the third party has been working on it, and they launched it. It's called Threads.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Oh, wait, amazing.
Is that not?
It's not Threads. Sorry, it's not Threads. It's not Threads.
I don't know. They're gone.
Intern, overzealous staffer.
The whole agency is gone. It's Friday. They've bailed on me. They gave me the wrong intel. Someone's getting fired on Monday.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of information that's coming on that. I think people are going to be very excited, but it is not Threads. Thank God.
Okay.
I would be on one hand, I'd be super stoked, and on the other hand, I'd be very embarrassed. I'd be very embarrassed. You know how it is. It's like, oh yeah, users, but also meta. So, you know, it's one of those situations. Okay, now, what is something in the ecosystem that you are excited for or looking forward to?
Woo, man, I'm not gonna lie. I want to be playing Last Expedition a lot more. I want to see a bunch of people playing it. I know right now you can kind of do it with your own node and stuff like that if you got to pass and whatnot, but
we haven't pushed the new summer build yet, though.
Right, I saw your video with that new build, and it looks great. It looks good, man. You know, like I said, this is always one that I was super excited about out of everything in the Gala ecosystem. Last Expedition was the one that I really got the most excitement for.
It's me too, which is going to get me in trouble because I'm going to have other games like sending me DMs like Jason White.
I mean, who else is like what game is really going to be like, hey, you're giving too much love to Last Expedition?
It's an amazing game, and I love all of the games on the platform for the most part. There's some that I don't play, to be completely honest. Like, sorry, Ben, but I'm not a Meow Match player. I do play a little bit of Dragon Strike here and there, but you know, Meow Match is not exactly my cup of tea. But Last Expedition is epic, and I did a stream the other day. I had to give a demo to the Blockchain Gaming Alliance for the BGA demo day. And then like 20 minutes later, I got the new build. So I played the old build, and then I updated to the new build and jumped in with everybody on a company-wide playtest. Holy crap, night and day. So if you've played before, what you've got coming up now is really a treat, and I think you're going to love it.
Yeah. I mean, I played in all the previous build. I mean, you know, UE4. Now the jump to UE5 was still some blocked out assets, and now I think that we're on the brink of
looking so nice,
build,
man.
so, yeah.
It's looking so nice.
I'm excited.
Well,
I'm excited.
I'm excited too, man. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to say in closing as we close the segment up? Because otherwise, it's just going to be you and I talking to each other for an hour.
We could easily do that. We could easily do this for sure. People don't know. I can keep going on.
You know. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. So, what I would like to say, man, is that, you know, there are making a game in general is pretty hard, but you know, making a bunch of games and producing other games and having to wrangle other teams and multiple teams at the same time is quite the endeavor. And like I said, I think that you guys do. You know, you take a lot of flack. You know, I take a lot of flack. I take a lot of flack for Gala.
This is a very flack-filled industry, man.
It's crazy. No, I know.
I mean, go around.
All the stuff with like Jake and everything, and like he just kind of flew off the handle a little bit there, and you know, and then tried to accuse me of some stuff with Gal. I'm like, look, man. You know, I say it like it is. You know, do I get sponsored sometimes? Sure. That doesn't mean that you pay for my opinion. You're paying for my coverage. You're paying for my time.
You just told us to kill our flagship game, so I think that it's fairly. Fairly. No, it's
our players. I mean, it cut the fat, man, is what I'm talking about here. Like,
no, that's
like you get the definitely tomahawk steak, and you're like, nah, bro, keep the giant piece of fat on the side. Let's just go with that. Like, no, man, trim the fat.
Okay. Okay. Well, Stache, thanks for coming and talking to us today. Appreciate it, and I can't wait to get you in the next last expedition build. You are definitely on that list, and I owe you a hoodie too. So I'm not wearing one today because it's like 7 million degrees, but I got one for you.
Where's all my merch?
I got it. I got it.
All right.
Awesome, man. Well, peace out, and we'll see you soon. There we go. We're back. It was normally there's a smoother transition, but we have some button problems today. I think on the Paul side, Paul has I have been singing the praises of the Stream Deck now for a little bit here, and that's why I can do cool things like confetti. But I think he switched over to that today, so I think we're still ironing out a couple little kinks. So I apologize for that. But what we're gonna do here, and I want to talk a little bit about this. There is a lot going on right now with the proposal and the discussion. It's not even a full proposal yet; it's a discussion at this point in time. But there have been a few people, including we're going to begin calling them Unit 115. Unit 115, spamming things in chat, or not in the chat, in the question board. So we're going to deal with a few of these things. And as we talk about this, the thing that I would like to drive home again is that we're asking for input. And we have done as much as we can to incorporate some of the other thinking, as we've gone forward with this. So this is specifically in reference to this question. Why won't you answer my hard questions on this ahead of the game, even though it hasn't happened yet? I can feel sad face. I am so sorry, 115. So let's go ahead and let's do some hard questions. What do you guys think? Let's start with this. So this is from 115. How come Gala Games hasn't released a detailed breakdown of why bonus pool can't work? Back in 2022, Gala created a Reddit for proposals, and no Gala employee ever responded to a single proposal on that Reddit. I actually think I did. I'm pretty sure I proposed to a few, and I upvoted quite a few. But be that as it may, doesn't the community deserve more information, reasoning, and respect other than we decided in our sole capacity that this doesn't work? Since the proposal is put forth in the name of decentralization, why is it that the entire premise of making premise is based on centralized decision making? So this is one of those situations where I think you want to be careful what you ask for, because what we're going to do is where's my button? I lost my website button. We're going to do that. How does that sound to you guys? Would you like to go through this? We can go through this, and I can explain to you why these things weren't included. And I want to do this. I'm going to do it really, really, really quickly, because to be completely honest, if you go into the comments for almost all of these, the answers for why we didn't do a specific thing are included in there from other community members. Run nodes 24 hours a day, maximum of 24 points. I don't specifically have a problem with this, but I also don't think that it really helps anything. If that's a thing that makes everybody feel better, I'm fine making nodes more granular in terms of uptime, but I also don't think it actually helps a whole heck of a lot. Extra point for those who hold their daily rewards in their treasure chest or Gala account wallet. Almost like some sort of, bonus point thing. That's an interesting idea. Somebody should make a proposal that deals with that. It only got 81 upvotes. It was the second. Consecutive day uptime bonus. Interesting. Also a pretty cool idea. Now, these exponential points, even, 1 to max 10. I didn't want to include something like that because in all likelihood, and this is observed, Those who are holding the largest number of nodes have a tendency to go down less because typically they operate on like AWS and massive things like that. Whereas the people operating 1 or 2 nodes operate those typically on their own home computers, and so those tend to go down a little bit more frequently. And so what that ends up with is a massive exponential centralization of points in the hands of the top, like few people who are operating nodes, which I think is not what anyone actually wanted. Node bonus uptime 98%. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that necessarily. More basic things on node bonuses for uptime over a certain amount of time. Also, again, that's not a problem. In the event that the founders nodes become NFTs, a percentage of the sales commission goes back to the founders node community through the reward pool. That would probably be a separate thing. I don't necessarily have a problem with that either. Gala power level should add to points. Interesting. It's almost as if that was included slightly in a recent proposal that someone has put forth. Try demos and betas. Now, the reason that we didn't include this is because it doesn't actually have anything to do with the operation of a node. Now, when we first put the idea out there, this is something that I was looking at from more of a perspective of like, how do we have a much broader impact of node operators on the entire ecosystem? How do we get people involved? And so that was put forward, but node operators pointed out that it wouldn't be fair to penalize a node operator for not playing a game when that's not the thing that they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be running a good node for the support of the ecosystem. So that's why that wasn't included here. On top of that, it becomes a massive pain in the ass to track across all of the different games, because then you're looking at like, okay, well, did you participate in this game? What does participation mean? Does it mean you have to win a certain number of matches? Does it mean that that you have to go through a certain number of playthroughs? What does participation mean in Spider Tanks versus Superior versus Townstar? It becomes really difficult to nail down and pin any sort of actual granularity on. That's why that was not included on top of the, it's not actually a thing that you're supposed to be doing. Proposal, add additional points for better hardware used to support the network. Definitely something that we would like to do over the long run, but when you're dealing with better hardware, one of the interesting things about that is that there really isn't any way to verify that other than to use it. So for example, better processors. The only way that you verify that somebody actually has a better processor is through actual proof of work, hash rate, make them do stuff. But doing things to the point where it's going to expend a full processor to get a real measure of hash rate means that you're doing useless things, because unless we were, and which we're not at this point in time, unless we were doing something that was insanely computationally intensive, you're just not going to get to that point where it's really relevant. For the time being, nodes are running games to a certain extent with Last Expedition, storing tons and tons of stuff on IPFS, supporting various other parts of the ecosystem, but definitely not to the extent where a hash rate would be something that would apply. Now, when you look at things like storage, typically the way that that's verified is you write the storage, you fill the storage, and then you replace it with other things. And so verifying that somebody has a certain amount of storage requires that you reach that amount of storage, and then verify that amount of storage, which is also an intensive process, but for another set of reasons. Okay, here, let's see. And okay, proposal 2x minimum required node uptime bonus. That's just another variation of node uptime bonus. Improve the quality of proposal voting via rewards. This is actually an interesting thing, but it also doesn't have anything to do with the operation of a node. I'd be down with doing some other incentive structure around having good proposals, because as we go forward, this is definitely something that we want to do as we reach to a point where people submit their own proposals, burn Gala to do so, and then people can kick it around and vote on it and whatnot. But that's probably not something that should be considered a major part of the run a node to support the ecosystem thing anyway. Smoke and mirrors 21 pig vomit. I don't know what that means, man. I don't know. Are you calling me a pig and telling me to vomit? What is that? Okay, proposal: add points for Gala level. Interesting idea. That's kind of a little bit of what's going on with the current proposal. To allow maintenance time in a given day and to reflect the fact that node uptime is a critical KPI, so you run the node for multiple 6-hour periods plus 1 point for qualifying period. Don't necessarily have a problem with that, but again, I don't think it really helps in this situation. It just splits up. It essentially takes 1 point and turns it into 4 points. So you can take everything and just multiply it by 4, and it becomes something that requires a lot more back-end tracking and doesn't actually do a whole heck of a lot. Okay, more node uptime bonus. Here we go. We're getting down to like only 17 people thought that these things were a good idea, and it gets worse from here. But we're gonna hit them. We're gonna do this. And in fact, guys, Paul, can you go an extra 15 minutes? Okay, great. Because we were a little bit clunky at the kickoff here, so I want to make sure that we deliver on our uptime. Definitely have to have enough uptime. Okay, so bonus of 1 point or 0.1 point per NFT held over a year for games not yet released. Okay, so this is a very critical thing here. Okay, 2 parts. One, okay, the node network should not be a thing that just supports us. Okay, Gala Games. The Gala node network should be a thing, and GalaChain should be a thing that supports a much larger ecosystem that goes far beyond us. So us selling an NFT and then changing the way the distribution happens because of that does not work for me personally. Okay, and that's why I don't like including these sorts of things. Okay, because unless we're also going to be like, load your account with random NFTs from whatever game and get points, doesn't work, right? So that's one of the major reasons. So it's bigger than us, guys, and that's why we can't do something like this. And on top of that, guaranteeing some sort of return for holding an NFT in your wallet doesn't also work particularly well. Okay, daily points for those who log into Discord and Gala accounts. This was something that I had originally put forward as a thing, get engagement, but people were very quick to point out that that doesn't necessarily help the network. That's not a node operator thing. That's a community thing. And there can be incentives for Discord. There can be cool things that happen to people who come into Discord, but it shouldn't be a major thing that determines how node points are allocated. Proposal: create a Gala staking pool where 100,000 Gala staked is worth plus 1 point. So this is an interesting idea. Unfortunately, we can't do staking. I wish we could, but we can't. So this is one of the reasons that we're looking at the structure the way that we are, because at this point it's not staking. You're not taking your bonus points at that point. Okay, let's see. Quick question from Piquidity: will GalaChain be EVM? No. And will outside devs be able to launch on it? Yes, they will. Okay. Run node without VPS. I like this as well. Difficult to verify, which is why it wasn't included, because that would require, it may be possible, but it would require a huge amount of technical lift to potentially do that in a way that makes sense, unless we're just like blacklisting if we know that a VPS, it's a mess. It's a mess, which is why we didn't do that. Proposal: plus 1 point for hitting a node gameplay challenge. Again, with the games. NFT owning and holding, we just dealt with that. Operating a founder's node locally within specs instead of on a VPS, just dealt with that as well. Operational stability, 99%. Again, this is a variation of the uptime. I like this. Maybe technically difficult to implement, because then instead of having a record of was this node operational for X period of time, you have to have check-ins that you store, and so your system gets very, very big at that point in time. And in this case, I don't think that is really feasible. 8 gigabyte RAM, 100 gigabyte hard drive, plus 1 point back to the storage and processing. Extra point daily for every 10K Gala you lock for 6 months. Interesting structure. Overall point structure, 10 points baseline plus bonus pool consisting of 10 point uptime, 10 points max, other actions, and 20 points. I actually liked this breakdown a little bit, crypto newbie, but that wasn't, it gets spread out really weird, and then you have all these different types of points for things. It gets a little bit messy. Hardware above minimum specs. NFT staking from different games, dealt with that. Extra run node instances beyond your license count. I kind of think this is a cool idea, but it's kind of just like having an extra node, right? I mean, in that case, if it's just plus 1 point, maybe, but then if also a person with one node just has plus 1 point, I don't know how that really helps. Giving flexibility to bonus pool actions over time, complementary thought, don't have a problem with that. NFTs own and run non-founders nodes. That's different parts of the ecosystem. It's cool, but also not really what we're doing here. Point scaling system with number of nodes owned and max daily point threshold. 1 year ago. Interesting. A point scaling system. There you go. So there should be no disadvantage to having multiple nodes on one account versus have them spread across accounts. So this is an interesting thing. Point scaling system was an idea that we did take. We just didn't go the way Garrison wanted. Provide liquidity on dexes. Again, not necessarily tied to the operation of founders nodes. Running different types of nodes, operating your founder. Okay, so we're now down to things that have received 0 upvotes, and there's only a handful of them. Should we go and just crush the rest? Let's see. Let's do it. Operate your founders node well above required hardware specs. Dealt with that. Create a voting leaderboard and account for rewarding streamers and influencers. I actually like this. This is cool, but not a node thing. This should be outside. This is kind of what we're doing with the spider tanks thing. Ideation workshop participation. Love the idea. Shouldn't be a thing that happens as part of a node reward, though. It should be something that happens that the entire community can be involved in. If we're limiting it to just node operators, you guys can look at that sheet. There's about 11,000 people operating nodes. That's a huge group, but I'd much rather have the 500,000 people that are in our community rather than just that. Let's see. Operate your founders nodes with a game node or nodes you're choosing to provide more power to the ecosystem. That's just more of the uptime thing. Every hour of non-flagged playtime. See, that's interesting, but again, it goes beyond this, and it isn't really tied to operating a node. Holding 100,000 Gala plus 1 point. So basically staking. Online hackathons, share programming tasks. I'm down for that. We actually have a hacking program that you can enter if you would like. I think it's posted in our Discord somewhere. And it's all over blog.gala.games. So if you want to white hat some stuff, we do have rewards available. Running multiple nodes from the same account plus 1 point. That's kind of the opposite direction of decentralization, but we'll just keep on moving. After completing an in-game challenge plus 1 point. Again, the games thing, not nodes. Let's create a reward for community monitors and international ambassadors. I'm a fan of this. Not a node thing, but super a fan of this. And then buying stuff on the Gala store equals X number of points. Okay, guys. Let's do this. That was every single thing in the node pool proposal queue. And you will see, I think, if you pay close attention, that we did our best to incorporate every single one of those that we could into the current proposal. Math is a little bit different, but we did what we could to hit those points. And we're still going to, tomorrow, be hitting a lot more of these things, and basically we're going to go through the entire proposal. I'm going to go through all of the proposals that have been sent in by people. I've got, I think, about 10 now. We'll go through those and we'll tweak the numbers, and then we'll see what happens. And then we can go from there and see where it lands, and hopefully we'll come up with something, put it out Friday or Saturday in terms of letting people look at it, and then putting it out for a vote on Monday. And be that as it may, that will sink or swim. Everybody will have the ability to vote on it, and then we'll see what happens. But I think you guys can see that we really have done our best to try to integrate everything that you said and not include the things that weren't feasible for the reasons that I just spent the last 20 minutes going through. So hopefully that will put anything to rest of you guys don't want to answer questions about the bonus pool. And when this is done, I'm going to go pin this to the top of the Node Bonus Pool Reddit, so certain people can see it. Okay, let's see here. So smoke and mirrors, what do you got, man? What's cringe? What are you talking about? Well, you come up with that. I'm gonna go hit the Discord here, and llama. All I'm starting to hear is Charlie Brown teacher at this point. Wah, 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 wah. Okay. Let's see. What questions do you guys have? I am watching. Classy. Why is it going through Reddit? I'm going through Reddit because 115 thought that we weren't going to be answering this. So now it has been answered. All of it. 100%. Okay. Para says, quick question about the proposal. I see a lot of people expressing the belief that the proposal makes it so they can never mint or they're permanently disadvantaged. My understanding is that the total points will reduce with every mint. Your share of the total points pool, and therefore your emissions will actually be raising as long as you are minting less than the average amount minted across other node owners at any given time. Is this a valid way of looking at it? Yes. Yes, that is a valid way of looking at it. Thank you. I am glad somebody is paying attention and doing math. Everybody looks at this like it's this thing where it's always just, one thing or the other. It's not. People are constantly going to be moving through the system. Let's see. 115, 115 posted so many questions. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them because I don't have enough buttons on my little thing. But I felt that was probably the biggest, meatiest question. Most of the other ones were kind of trolly, like, does Benefactor have a button to send money to exchanges? Which is kind of like, So what am I supposed to say? So let's see here. And I'm sorry that took longer than I wanted, but I felt that it needed to be dealt with because people were really feeling that had been left out. Okay, what do we got here, guys? Smiling Monster, Tweety playtest for everyone. Yes, that is the current plan. That is what we're looking at. Hello, Bitbender. When will we be able to DeFi in Gala? It's so important, and some update about legacy games. So I talked to Cade today. Okay, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this. I talked to Cade today, and Cade promises that there will be an update soon. I don't know exactly when that will be, but yeah, it was not a fun conversation for Cade because I was like, Cade, come on, man, you're killing me. So hopefully we will be able to get that out there soon. then in terms of DeFi, now the crazy thing about DeFi is that you can, at any point in time, anyone can build something that potentially uses Gala within a DeFi protocol if that's a thing that they want to do. If there are DeFi protocols out there that are interested in doing something, we're happy to talk to them about it. When will we ourselves internally build something that is tied to DeFi? That's probably not going to be a thing that you will see us doing. But it's not, that does not mean that it could not be done. And that doesn't mean that it could not be done on GalaChain. Okay, let's see. Smiling Monster has to take time off of work. That is unfortunate. Okay. Let's see here. Yes, the intent is for marketing for The Walking Dead. They want to show off a stable build. I wonder if we can do a walker competition. I would love to have a walker competition. Any detail? Oh my God! I can't believe I didn't. Man, this week has absolutely murdered me. It has been very, 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 very long. And those of you who have seen me starting in Discord at like 4 a.m. every day and going until like 11 p.m. every night, and then also all of you Vox people who made me go eat terrible chicken in McDonald's. This has been a difficult week for my body. It's been very difficult. So yeah, rep. Yes, I am going to have early next week. I'm going to have Neil. Neil and I will do a thing where we're going to release a bunch of information on rep. We've got a white paper that him and his team have put together. They've got a bunch of other updates that are going to be going out, and we're going to do a special. We're going to probably release that. Maybe we can even get that out tomorrow so you guys have the weekend to digest it. And then probably on Monday, we will do a full broadcast where him and I answer questions and talk about it. It's going to be very cool, though. There's so much stuff in there that is what social media is supposed to be that goes so far beyond anything that's available right now. And GalaChain is the perfect platform for it. So, yeah, Mizamir, blue chicken. It was blue. It had blue stuff on it. I don't know what that was about. It was so profoundly disturbing. I can't even address it. And I also have to really quickly do a giveaway here because I made a promise. And if I don't do it, then I'm going to have to even do a more awesomer giveaway, which, I don't know if I can do much more awesome than this. Let's see. I have to get my retweet picker up and running. Twitter started paying content creators. That's a cool update. Okay. So let me do this. I'm going to go back to our wonderful Reddit pool. I know that lots of people really, really like that. And I'm going to go here. Okay, retweet picker. Hold on, guys. Let me resize this because this was sort of designed for Reddit. Whoop. There we go. And I'm going to go take the tweet. And I'm going to put it in here. Let's do this, guys. Load tweet. Okay. So we're going to do a Cluck Rogers giveaway, and I'm going to do what I did last time. I'm going to pull 5, and we're going to go ahead and do this pick, and we're going to see what happens. And Mizamir, yeah, dude, it was a rough night last night. I'm not going to lie. It was a very unpleasant night. Okay, continue. Let's see. Basic Coin Lover. Okay, Basic Coin Lover, I've actually DM'd back and forth with, I think. Let's see here. What's going to be like, you have to sign into Twitter? it's not helpful. Okay, Basic Coin Lover. Basic Coin Lover is legit. So Basic Coin Lover, gotta check Cluck Rogers. Congratulations. And with that, guys, I think I'm going to, and I hear a screaming child downstairs, and I'm 15 minutes over. So I'm going to let you guys go for now. Bitbender out. I will see you all on the flip side.